What's the best way to stop an enormous monster from destroying Gotham City? Call Superman. Right. Well, that's what most people would do. But Batman is no ordinary person. He has contingency plans for literally everything, including a special suit designed to take down monsters like Godzilla. So the question is, can it actually work? Let's find out. It all started when Batman was investigating strange occurrences in the sewers. There he found some unusual footprints, which looked like they were left by a giant lizard-like creature. As he followed them, more and more buildings were destroyed, confirming his suspicions. There really was a gigantic beast rampaging through the city. The police were already on the scene, but even their bullets couldn't scratch the monster. With no other choice, Batman decided to use one of his secret weapons. He drove to the GCPD impound lot, where he had stored a special vehicle from the Batmobile series known as the Batgator. He jumped into the driver's seat and used the Batcomputer to hack into the city's water supply. Then he turned on the Batgator's specialized sonar system. This allowed him to locate the monster, which at that time was hiding under a bridge. The Batgator then released a powerful pulse of sound waves that disoriented the creature, causing it to come out of its hiding spot. And that's when Batman got his first good look at the monster. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen before, resembling a gigantic humanoid reptile with sharp teeth and glowing red eyes. Batman later described this moment as the first time in his life that he felt true fear. He knew that the creature was far stronger than any human, but that didn't stop him from trying. To fight back, the Batgator fired a harpoon gun at the monster, but the weapon simply bounced off of its tough hide. Realizing that brute force wouldn't work, Batman changed tactics. He used the Batcomputer to analyze the creature's behavior, searching for a weakness. It wasn't long before he found something. The creature seemed to be sensitive to high-frequency sounds, so Batman had the Batgator create a sonic frequency that was painful to the monster, that caused it to panic and run away. Batman pursued it, using the sonic weapon to keep it at bay. As the chase continued, Batman noticed that the monster was leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Homes and buildings were being demolished, people were being injured, and as much as he hated to admit it, Batman knew he had to stop the monster somehow. If it kept rampaging through the city, there would eventually be nothing left to save. Finally, the monster stopped and turned to face the Batgator. And that's when Batman unleashed his final weapon, a sonic cannon that emitted a deafening roar. The monster was thrown back, crashing into a nearby building and knocking it over. The Batgator then released smoke pellets to cover its tracks and disappeared into the night. The monster was now trapped and weakened. All Batman had to do was wait for the creature to fall asleep. Then he could capture it and find out exactly what it was. Of course, it took a little longer than expected, since the monster ended up destroying half the city while Batman waited. But eventually it did fall asleep, and Batman made his move. He used the Batplane to drop down on the monster and fire a tranquilizer dart at it. The dart hit its mark, and the monster slowly began to calm down. Batman then used a grappling hook to secure himself to the creature's leg and climb onto its back. From there, he managed to steer it towards a large net that had been set up by the military. With the help of the military, Batman successfully captured the monster and brought it back to his headquarters. Once there, he began running tests on the creature, trying to figure out exactly what kind of animal it was and where it came from. His analysis showed that it was some kind of prehistoric reptile that had been brought back to life by some unknown means. But as for why it attacked Gotham City, Batman couldn't say for sure. Maybe it was just lost and confused, or maybe it was angry about being disturbed from its slumber. Whatever the reason, Batman knew that he had to stop it from rampaging through the city again. And he also knew that the only way to do that was to destroy it. Of course, he couldn't just blow the monster up with dynamite or something like that. He had to be smart about it. That's why he came up with a plan to lure the monster out of its enclosure and into a specially designed chamber. The chamber was filled with water and a powerful electromagnetic pulse generator. When the monster entered the chamber, the electromagnetic pulse would disrupt its nervous system, causing it to go into cardiac arrest. It was a risky plan, but Batman had no other choice. If he didn't do something, the monster would eventually escape and destroy the city. So, with heavy hearts, Batman and the military lured the monster into the trap and activated the device. The electromagnetic pulse shot through the creature's body, causing it to collapse. Its eyes rolled back and its chest slowly stopped moving. The monster was dead. Once the coast was clear, Batman debriefed with the military and explained what they should do with the creature's remains. He also promised to keep the city safe from whatever threats may come its way in the future. Of course, he never imagined that the next threat would come from one of his own allies. In Batman No. 674, readers are introduced to a new character named Alan Scott. He claims to be a superhero who can control light, but Batman quickly realizes that he's actually just using powerful lantern rings. Alan tells Batman that he needs his help to stop the villain Monarch from destroying the universe, but Batman refuses, citing a previous incident in which Alan's powers went out of control and almost destroyed Gotham City. When Alan hears this, he becomes enraged and attacks Batman with his lantern ring. The two heroes battle it out, but it soon becomes clear that Alan is too powerful for Batman to defeat in a normal fight. That's when Batman uses a special ring of his own, one that's designed to absorb and redirect energy attacks. With the help of the ring, Batman is able to hold his own against Alan and eventually convince him to stand down, but not before Alan gives Batman a warning. He tells him that if he ever refuses to help again, he won't be so merciful. And then he disappears, leaving Batman to wonder what he should do next. So, what should Batman do? Should he trust Alan and risk angering him further? Or should he try to stop him without the Green Lantern's help? While Batman was busy dealing with this new threat, another monster was stirring in the depths of the earth. Deep underground, an earthquake shook the ground, causing tremors that could be felt all throughout Gotham City. The tremors grew stronger and stronger until finally they reached the surface. The earth cracked and split open, revealing a massive creature unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. It had sharp teeth and claws, and its eyes glowed a menacing red. The creature let out a deafening roar that echoed throughout the city, announcing its arrival. People ran for their lives as the monster began to rampage through the streets. Buildings were knocked over and cars were crushed like toys. The monster seemed unstoppable. That is, until Batman arrived on the scene. He had been alerted to the earthquake and knew that something big was happening. When he saw the monster, he wasted no time in trying to stop it. He fired his batarangs, but the monster simply swatted them away like flies. He then called for backup, but even the combined might of the police and military wasn't enough to stop the creature. It was too strong, too fast, too furious. Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Batman remembered the anti-Godzilla armor. He raced home and put on the suit, then returned to the streets of Gotham. The monster let out a roar as Batman approached, challenging him to a fight. But Batman wasn't afraid. He charged forward, swinging his fists and sending the monster crashing through a nearby building. The two battled it out in the streets, each determined to win. But Batman knew that he couldn't defeat the monster in hand-to-hand combat. He needed to use his brains instead. So he led the monster on a chase through the city, eventually cornering it in a small alley. There, Batman used his Batmobile to block the monster's path, and then activated the anti-Godzilla armor's sonic cannon. The cannon fired a powerful blast of energy at the monster, stunning it and knocking it to the ground. The monster tried to get up, but the sonic blasts from the cannon kept it pinned, and that's when Batman made his move. He jumped out of the Batmobile and onto the monster, straddling its head. He then pressed a button on his suit, activating the anti-Godzilla armor's ultimate weapon, a nuclear-powered laser. The laser burned through the monster's flesh and bone, finally ending its rampage. As the sun rose over Gotham City, Batman stood victorious. The monster was dead and the city was safe once again. But as he surveyed the damage around him, he couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. He knew that this was just the beginning. The earth rumbled once more, and from the shadows, a new monster emerged, growling and ready to fight. Batman had defeated one monster, but now he had to do it all over again. We hope you enjoyed this story about Batman taking on a monster. If you want to see more stories like this, stay tuned for more content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.